Hey everyone, welcome to RYGR Sports. I'm Yash.
No, I'm Logan.
Today we're going to be talking about the NFL MVP race. It's pretty obvious at this point that there's only two real contestants. I'm going to go with Drake Maye. My partner here, Logan, is going to go for Matthew Stafford.
So this MVP race has kind of came down to, the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. I mean, during the middle of the season, you had guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jonathan Taylor in the conversation, but once the end of the season came around, really these two quarterbacks have led the way. Um, And when you take a look at betting markets and things of that sort, it's really just a 50-50 or maybe a 60-40 between these two quarterbacks, um, which is normal because the NFL MVP is usually a quarterback award. So when you take a look at both of these guys have had incredible seasons for their respective teams, right? The Rams are one of the best teams in the NFC this year, and the Patriots are one of the best teams in the AFC this year, kind of coming out of nowhere this season. Um, and I believe it's Drake Maye's second season in the NFL, and he's already an MVP candidate, which is ridiculous. This guy has such a bright future ahead of him. I do lean Matt Stafford, though, in this race, just because I think he's a better passer, and I don't think the Patriots' schedule has been difficult enough for Drake Maye to really prove that he's an elite quarterback. Um, when you take a look at their numbers, Matt Stafford has about 400 more, maybe 300 more yards. He has 15 more touchdown passes, and they both have 8 interceptions. So, from a passing perspective, Matt Stafford has had a better season than Drake Maye. I mean, obviously, you have to take into account he has more weapons, right? He has Devontae Adams, Puka Nakua, Kyron Williams is back there. The Rams' offense is a better offense than the Patriots because of those assisting players that make Matthew Stafford better. However, I do think it's more impressive what Drake Maye has done with his supporting cast because he doesn't really have a go-to playmaker on the Patriots. So, as regards to both guys, I think both of them have had incredible seasons at the quarterback position, both hopefully leading their teams to a deep playoff run. But I do lean Matthew Stafford in this race.
Okay. I'm going to go Drake Maye. I know it's sort of biased since I am a Patriots fan, but I do think that Drake Maye has done more with less, in a sense. I mean, Matthew Stafford, I believe, has 16 touchdowns inside the 5 yard line, right? I mean, he's got Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams, two of the best receivers or some of the best receiving core in the NFL. One thing I do think is Matthew Stafford is not that great of a rushing quarterback. I mean, I'm looking at the stats right now. Matthew Stafford has 29 carries for a grand total of 1 yard this season. Okay, that does include kneel downs and stuff, yes, but I mean, 1 yard on 29 attempts is horrible. It's horrendous. Meanwhile, Drake Maye, not he has got about 103 attempts, 450 yards, about 4.5 yards a carry, and 4 rushing touchdowns to Matthew Stafford's 0. So the total count brings that to 46 total touchdowns for Matthew Stafford compared to 35 total touchdowns for Drake Maye. So it kind of closes the gap a little bit. Also, I think what a lot of people don't factor in is the offensive line. I do think the Rams have a top 3 offensive line in the league, top 3, top 5. Meanwhile, the Patriots have just an average to a slightly below average offensive line. I mean, Matthew Stafford this season was sacked 23 times as opposed to Drake Maye getting sacked 47 times, which is a huge, huge difference.
Wow.
On top of all that, Drake Maye has a higher yards per attempt. He has a better completion percentage by I think 7 or 8%. And I mean his team around him isn't as good as the team that Matthew Stafford has around him. Yeah, I mean the Patriots haven't
Sure.
had a good schedule, but I mean at the beginning of the season, everybody was saying the Patriots are going to go 4-13 or at best have 7 wins. But I mean here they've proved everybody wrong with 13 or 14 wins, and it's unbelievable what he's been able to do this year. Now I do believe that if Matthew Stafford beat Seattle last week or 2 weeks ago in the overtime game, I think he would have had a better shot at winning MVP just because I feel like these
Yeah.
MVP voters usually factor in seeding when it comes to voting. So, I mean, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying regarding what Drake May has done with his supporting cast and his numbers and everything. It's a very close race. Like this is not a MVP race that's very obvious as in prior years that we've had. This one is coming down to the wire. As far as the actual award, you kind of have to think about what you value in an MVP, right? A lot of the voters that decide this award kind of value different things, right? Do you value how good your team, how well you led your team this year to 13, 14 win? I guess I think the Rams have 12 wins and the Patriots have 14 wins. So do you give Drake May the MVP because they have two more wins? Do you value individual numbers and stats and everything like that? Um, I do think it's going to be pretty interesting to see, which way the voters lean. If I had to pick one, I mean, I'd see both sides. I'm not going to go ahead and say Matthew Stafford deserves the MVP over Drake May. It's not even close. Like, obviously, like, these two guys both deserve an MVP award for what they've done this season. But the main reason why I think Stafford deserves the MVP is because the numbers are just better. And I know the voters don't really take into account, difficulty of schedule, but the Rams played in a loaded division this year with the Niners and the Seahawks, who are two of one of the best teams in the NFL. Had to play those teams combined 4 times, right? And I think if you throw for 15 more touchdowns than your counterpart, I do believe that that's enough to put you over the edge in a 50-50 situation like this. I do see what you're saying about the rushing, Drake May's rushing ability. I mean, when that pocket collapses, Drake May is able to extend the play a little bit more and, use his legs to pick up a first down or make a play. I think you said he has 4 rushing touchdowns, right?
Yeah, four rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, that's a very important aspect of a quarterback's game is their rushing ability because the pocket collapses all the time in the NFL and you have to have the ability to extend the play, use your legs, run to the outside, and Drake May's better than that at Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford has never been a highly rushing QB. I mean, he's more of a pocket passer with an elite arm. So yeah, Drake May definitely has that over Matt Stafford, but I don't think it's to a point where, it pushes him over the edge over Stafford. So I believe they're going to decide the MVP in a few weeks.
It's the week before the Super Bowl, I believe.
Say it again.
It's the week before the Super Bowl.
After the Super Bowl.
No,
Before the Super
before.
Bowl? Gotcha.
Yeah, like where the Pro Bowl is.
Before, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
The vote. I don't think the voting is going to be as dominant as it usually is with MVP. I mean, obviously we had Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson last year. Lamar ended up winning that MVP over Josh Allen. I think this one's a similar race. I mean, two elite quarterbacks both have led their teams to really outstanding seasons. No matter which way you go, it's not a wrong. There's no wrong choice here. So those are the reasons why I believe Matt Stafford deserves this award this season. And I mean, if this is his last season in the NFL or, second to last, this is the end of his career, right? Maybe his second to last season or last season, whatever it may be. This is an absolutely outstanding way to end your career, right? And if the Rams can make a deep playoff run and, make a conference championship or go to the Super Bowl, I mean, this guy is easily going to be a Hall of Famer. So, yeah, that about wraps it up from my perspective on this debate. MVP is always going to be a highly debatable topic because there's always going to be two sides to the argument. But regardless of who wins the award this season, Drake May has a incredible future ahead of him with that Patriots team. I think the sky is the limit for this guy. I mean, if he can get a few weapons around him on the outside, I mean, this guy is going to be, the same exact thing we saw with Tom Brady in New England. So, um, so yeah, that about does it from me regarding this debate. I'm really interested to see, which way the voters kind of lean here.
Yeah, I think one thing that actually I forgot to mention the first time is attempts, passing attempts. I mean, Matthew Stafford has 105 more attempts, but he only has 34 more completions. I mean, I feel like that's kind of a big gap when you really think about it. Because, I mean, what if Drake Maye had, um, let's say, the same amount of attempts that Matthew Stafford did? How many more touchdowns? How many more interceptions would he have thrown? Because when you throw the ball more, you're going to throw more touchdowns, and you're also going to throw more interceptions. The one thing I do give to Matthew Stafford's credit is his touchdown to interception ratio is better than what Drake Maye has, because he's 46-8. Drake Maye's 31-8. But I think the only thing that I really put into consideration is just the receivers that Drake Maye has. I mean, Drake Maye doesn't really have like a top five receiver on his team, right? I mean, Stephon Diggs, he's gonna have his moments. He's not what he used to be, if I'm being completely honest. Like where he was in Buffalo or back in Minnesota. Um, Meanwhile, Matthew Stafford's got Puka Nakua, which is a top two, top three receiver right now. Maybe even top one.
Absolutely.
And then he's also got Devontae Adams, which is, I mean, he's a first ballot Hall of Fame receiver, and he hasn't really lost a step at all. I mean, you watch this. He's got some of the best footwork I've ever seen, and for any receiver. Um, so I mean, Matthew Stafford has that, and what that does do is, when you have two really good receivers on the same team, it's easier for, let's say, Puka to kind of catch more passes, because he's automatically gonna pull more coverage just because of who he is. So Puka's gonna end up being more open more often, and I mean, you look at long distance throws, like 20+ air yards. Drake Maye has a much better completion percentage than Matthew Stafford. Drake Maye actually has the number one completion percentage for passes for 20 or more yards. The exact completion percentage here is 68% to 59% of Matthew Stafford. So that's almost 10%, which is a huge difference. But aside from that, I think this is going to be a really, really close race, just like last year. And I'm hoping Drake Maye wins it, but I wouldn't be mad at all if Matthew Stafford wins it, because he deserves it just as much.
Right, right. I just wanted to add in a couple of cool little stats here. When you take a look at fantasy football this year, I believe I finished fourth this year in my league. I was number one seed, but I didn't have the right pieces for the playoffs. Matt Stafford was my QB when Patrick Mahomes went down, and when you take a look at this season in fantasy, Drake Maye scored 359 fantasy points throughout the entire season, and Matthew Stafford scored 358. So, literally 1 point off from each other, which is a crazy stat. And both of them averaged 21.1 fantasy points per game, the same exact number from both guys. So, this is as tight as a race as it gets, honestly, because when you look at a production standpoint, I mean, these two guys are literally neck and neck with each other. Like, the rushing ability from Drake Maye does make up for some of the, passing volume that Matthew Stafford has over him. But yeah, both. I mean, I just wanted to throw that in because that's a
Yeah,
crazy
cool.
stat right there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, well, that about wraps it up for the MVP race. In the next couple of videos, we're going to be having the AFC playoff picture and the NFC playoff picture. And I mean, that about wraps it up.